How's it going, and welcome to my review on Candlekeep Mysteries, a 5th edition module. Today we're going to be looking at all of the mysteries dived into, and we're just going to have a brief overview of everything. Of course, there's going to be a ton of spoilers, so players don't watch this, but DMs that want to take a quick glance at this amazing adventure, go ahead and stick around, because there is so much to cover here. So here we are, the Candlekeep itself. This is, of course, the hub of many of the adventures that your players will be getting through, but not all of them take place in Candlekeep, mind you. Some of the adventures take you all over the world, some of them have you going inside of the book, and some of them have you pretty much going right outside of Candlekeep. This book has it all. Your players will be having such a fun time if you go ahead and run this as a full-blown adventure, or you can easily take any of these little adventures and plop them into any campaign. Because they're so agnostic, they are not tied intrinsically to any location, so it requires next to no effort to take any of these adventures and make them fit into your campaign. So, of course, we have to ask the question, what are the Candlekeep Mysteries? They are just a collection of 17 different adventures that you can go ahead and run. Of course, every single one of these adventures do have elements of mystery in it. Some much more than others. Some of them do have some investigation. Some of them have your players guessing until the very end. And some of them, in fact, might have you guess until later. Many of these mysteries involve combat and just have the generic, general D&D stuff, which is perfectly fine and perfectly awesome. Because of the unique nature of this book, the fact that it is 17 different adventures written by 17 different authors, they don't natively string together. And that is a good thing because you can go ahead and use them as one-shots, but at the same time, if you want to run a full-blown adventure, you are going to have to go ahead and make some pieces work together, which isn't that tough. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and take a quick little peek at every single one of these adventures and show off the amazing content therein. Our first adventure here at level 1, Joy of Extra-Dimensional Spaces. Your players find themselves in a magnificent mansion, and unfortunately find they are stuck. They must search around this mansion in order to look for the clue to escape. Eventually they'll discover that hidden around this place are a bunch of books that each have a letter. Once you combine all of those books together, they reveal a key phrase that you must speak aloud to escape. There is a lot of twists and turns in this magnificent mansion, and of course, as we can see, there's a mimic. So, hopefully your players can get out of here alive. Our second adventure here, Mazroth's Mighty Digressions. Your players discover that books are disappearing from Candlekeep itself. The trail is going to lead them all the way to Baldur's Gate, and eventually they'll discover that the people that are making these books disappear aren't merely humans. They are jackalwares. Ooh. This encounter with this jackalware gang could prove scary, however, it could also be fruitful. So hopefully your players come at this with an open mind. Our third adventure here, Book of the Raven. Your players will search around thanks to this nifty map, and there they'll discover a mansion. But this mansion appears to be haunted. Eventually searching around, they'll discover that it isn't haunted by ghosts, but by a secret society of were-ravens that do in fact have some fun things going on. And a little bit of searching here and there, and your players can actually uncover a trip to the Shadowfell. Pretty awesome stuff. In our fourth adventure, A Deep and Creeping Darkness, your players look around for a town that went missing ages ago, and there they'll discover that the inhabitants of this place didn't just disappear out of thin air. They were in fact stolen away by evil meanlocks. And of course, this place is super creepy. Your players can eventually put an end to these meanlock aggressions and confront them in a cave nearby. Our fifth adventure here, Shem Chimes Bedtime Rhyme. Your players find themselves in Candlekeep, and as they're looking around the cellar, all of a sudden, something gets let loose. And eventually your players get put into quarantine alongside a cast of NPCs that they'll grow to know, possibly love, and possibly hate. Inside of this cellar, your players will be searching for the clues to stop this terrible curse that has befallen them. And hopefully they can understand how to put an end to it before it's too late. For our sixth adventure, we have Price of Beauty. Your players get to take a spa day. Yeah! Unfortunately, as they start to peel away the layers of this location, they discover it, of course, has more than meets the eye. Your players will grow to discover that the staff of this place are evil beings, including a coven of hags that steal away people's beauty. Will your players be able to stop the hags, or will they share in the same fate as many of the people here? In a book of cylinders, your players will make their way to a Gripply village, a group of humanoid-like frogs, not to be confused with the bullywugs or grungs, because we needed more frog-like people. Your players discover that the Gripply are under siege from an evil cast of Yuan-Ti. However, not all the Yuan-Ti are on the bad side. Can your players put a stop to the evil ritual at hand and save the villagers? Or will the Yuan-Ti get what they want? In Sarah of Yellowcrest Manor, your players will go down the line of looking for a murderer and grow to discover that there is in fact a cult hidden amongst this scenic little town. Once your players dive into the cult, they'll discover that they are getting up to some terrible things, and hopefully they don't join them in their process. In Lore of Luru, your players will be sucked into a book, and it's a literal fairy tale come to life. Your players go down a scenic road, encountering fae and all sorts of various creatures, until they get to the very end, where they'll discover that an avatar of a god is being summoned. However, this avatar is not pleasant, and this unicorn will go ahead and strike out against any that dare stand against it. In Candlekeep Deconstruction, your players discover that there is in fact a crazy cult within the Candlekeep itself. Your players will look around, and here they will find this very, very interesting group of people that plan on taking a spire in the Candlekeep itself and launching it into space. Can your players put a stop to the launch, or are they going to join them in space? Either way, it's perfectly awesome. In Zikron's Zephyrin Tome, your players will befriend a lovely genie. And of course, this genie is in a predicament. Your players can go ahead and help free him by slaying, or at least making his former master agree to freeing him. This will take your players all the way around, meeting a dragon, and eventually battling a whole bunch of giant ghosts, and then you can go ahead and have a final confrontation with him. And if all things have worked out well, your players can get a wish, or they can make a really awesome friend. In the Curious Tale of Wisteria Veil, your players will once again find themselves in a book, but this time they are in a strange little pocket dimension specifically designed to house a bard that unfortunately has gone a little mad. But he's not the only one that's gone mad. This place has been invaded by a beholder. So as your players explore around this makeshift village, hopefully they don't get into any trouble with the local, which are just little robots. And hopefully they don't anger the beholder. In order to free the bard, they have to stab him, so pretty fun. The Book of Inner Alchemy takes us into an awesome action flick, as your players will find themselves in the Temple of the Immortal Lotus and have to get into an awesome kung fu fight with a whole bunch of monks. The reason for this, the head monk has found a way to obtain immortality by crafting some gloves that will, in fact, suck the life out of people, but make him immortal. In the Canopic Being, your players will find themselves in a massive underground labyrinth, which is unfortunately the home of an evil mummy lord. As your players search around, they'll discover some golems that are unfortunately housing the body parts of individuals that have fallen prey to the evil mummy. In order to put a stop to the mummy lord, one must deal with all the body parts first. The Scrivener's Tale has your players getting infected with an evil fae curse. At first off, it doesn't appear to be evil, but later on, this could majorly impact them, as they will go up against the one that cursed them themselves. And if they are too infected, they may go ahead and allow this evil fae spirit to roam free. Putting a stop to this evil fae and making sure that she doesn't escape is pretty tough, so hopefully no one's too infected. In Alcazar's Appendix, your players will make friends with a stone golem, and they'll travel along deserts, eventually making their way to the stone golem's former master, who has been locked away in this necropolis for ages. Unfortunately, your players are not the only one in the search for this former master, as there is a Draco Lich that is hot on your heels. Will you be able to appease the stone golem, or will you be forced to succumb to the Draco Lich? And our last book here is Anthoria. A plague is spreading around the world, and your players find the root cause of it. Root, because it is a druidic lich. This is incredible. Your players come here and they'll uncover a nasty fungal infection that's spreading all about this cave. They'll be going up against incredibly strong evil entities, and of course they'll make some amazing friends in the form of little face spirits. And unfortunately, your players may be put in a terrible predicament where they have to kill someone they like. And just like that, a quick overview of each individual chapter. It would take ages to do a review of every single one, but I will be doing that over the course of time, so stick around for all of that. I will be reviewing each individual chapter, as well as going over it and seeing some things you can go ahead and make clear of and all that. But to put it here, my overall review for this product is, it is amazing. Once again, if you want to run a full-blown campaign of this, it's going to be a short ride, yes, but it is going to be such a sweet ride along the way. Where this book really stands out is the fact that it is a collection of one-shots you can pull out at any time, and it fits. If you want to run it completely as a one-shot or fit it into any campaign you've got going on, no matter the tone or setting of the campaign that you have, there is at least one adventure here in this book that can fit into any campaign. And not only do we get all these adventures, we also get the hub setting of the Candlekeep itself. I know that people are going to be spawning content for this location, and now that we're seeing the light of running one-shots or two-shots, people are going to be making more content along those lines, which is good. I think that little mini-shots are a great way to introduce people into D&D, and of course it is just a really nice thing to do if you can't get your full group all the time. So my overall review for this product is, it is astounding. It is amazing. It is fun. Each individual book shines on its own, and when you put them together, the fact that we get 17 amazing adventures all spread out over the course of many different levels, different locations, different settings, different themes, the fact that we get all of those in one book is just amazing. We get the information on Candlekeep itself, we get new items to play with, new monsters to go up against, and of course, hopefully this jogs people's ideas into making adventures of their own. Also, for all your Candlekeep needs, I cannot recommend enough that you join the Candlekeep Discord and the Candlekeep Reddit, and all those links will be down below, and you should go ahead and join those because I'll be participating in there, and of course many DMs are going to go ahead and be doing the same. We're going to be collabing together and working together and making this adventure as awesome as it deserves to be. This book is an easy pick for me, and I will be running all these adventures. I'll be putting out a bunch of content for these adventures, and I cannot wait to see what comes next from the community for Candlekeep, because I know they are going to be working overdrive once they start flipping through those pages. That is going to do it for me for this one. So go ahead and tell me, are you planning on buying Candlekeep? And if so, are you going to run it as a series of one-shots? Are you going to run it as a full-blown campaign? Are you going to take one or two of these little adventures and put them in your own campaign? Go ahead and tell me all those things because I want to know. But that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you to all my amazing patrons up here. You guys are absolutely incredible. Thank you so very much. That is going to do it for me. Thank you so much for listening. And I cannot wait to see you all in the next one.